Hello, welcome back to guitar. My name is Jackson, and this is going to be kind of a part 2 to the last video we did. So we're still going to go over kind of just some basic songs here, but using the B string this time. Then after that, we're going to try to learn a couple songs that combine the B and the E string. So let's get to it. So first of all, let's locate that string. It's going to be the next one up from the E string. So if we go from the bottom, elephants and dogs grow big ears. We're looking for that big string, the B string. So go ahead and just try to find that string and play it with your right hand. Good. To start, let's do the same exercise we did on the E string here. So we're going to go open B string 4 times. Then the 3rd fret 4 times. Then back to the open B string. And then the 5th fret. This is a good thing to practice a few times, see if you can get a little faster at it. Alright, so next we're going to learn a song called Iron Man by Black Sabbath. Now this song is originally played on some of these lower strings like this. But we're going to learn a version that's all on the B string. I'll play the whole thing first so you could hear it. Here it is again, a little bit slower. Now let's break it down into a couple parts. To start, I'm going to be on the 3rd and 5th fret with my first finger on the 3rd fret and my 3rd finger on the 5th fret. So the first section will sound like this. Now if you're using a pick, it's nice to kind of throw in a couple upstrokes in addition to a lot of downstrokes. So for an extra challenge, try it this way. I'm going to go down, 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 up, down. Now again, when I say down, I'm going towards the floor with my pick. Up is towards the sky. Down, 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 up, down. Now the next section I would practice, I would slide up with my 3rd finger to the 8th fret. And I'm going to use these 2 fingers to kind of quickly go between the 8th fret and the 7th fret like this. And again, with my pick, I'm going down, up, down, up, down, up. Next, I'm going to go back to where I was before on the 3rd fret and go 3, 5, 5. So that second section sounds like this. So the whole thing from the beginning again is next up, I'd like to talk about playing songs that use both the E and the B string together. So take a second just to find each of those strings. We're going to start with the E string and then the B string. Now notice when I write out my tab that the E string is on top and the B string is on bottom. And that's just kind of how tabs are. When we write them, we order them with the highest string in pitch on top and the lowest string in pitch on the bottom. So just make sure to pay attention to kind of which line has which string. Now even though there's 2 lines here, we're going to read them as if it's one line, right? So let's start out by just trying a little exercise. This is called a C major 5-note scale. It sounds like this. Starts on the 1st fret of the B string, then the 3rd fret, then the open E string, then the 1st fret of the E string, and then the 3rd fret. Pretty simple exercise. I want you to try this forwards and then try it backwards. And then try it without having a break in between, like this. And see if you can go a little faster. A little faster. Now let's talk about a song that uses the same notes that are in that 5-note scale. Let's go over a song called Ode to Joy by Beethoven. Great beginner song, great use of both strings. The song goes like this. Now there's more to the song that we can learn later, but for now let's just focus on that much. There's kind of 2 different sections here. The first section goes like this. Excuse me. A little slower. The second section goes like this, and it's almost identical. The only difference is the ending. So try to listen for that. A little slower. And then again, the whole thing. Next up, we're going to try another kind of classic rock song called Paint It Black by the Rolling Stones. Now this song is going to be played on the B and the E string. I'll start by just playing through it once. Again, a little slower. Now this song is going to use a lot of advanced guitar tricks. Most of the kind of fretting or the left hand work, or rather all of it, is played on the B string. So let's start out by just kind of learning that melody, which sounds like this. So we're going to start in 5th position, so that means my first finger is on the 5th fret. And I'm going to go 5, 7, 8. Then I'm going to shift up and catch the 10th fret. And then back to the 8th fret, and just go back the way I came. So it's kind of just up and then backwards the same way. 5, 7, 8, 10, 8, 7, 5. Okay? Now, in between each of those notes I just played, I'm going to put in an open high E string and just alternate between the notes I'm fretting with my left hand in that high E string. So, then try it a little faster. Now, in order to play this well, you're really going to have to play on the tips of your fingers to let that E string ring, or else you'll kind of run into some problems like that. So you really got to curl your fingers and leave room for that open E string, and that makes this song pretty challenging. But it's a really good one to build, good technique. So after I do this, next I'm going to go to the 4th fret, or excuse me, I'm going to play the 5th fret one more time, then the 4th fret, back up to the 5th, 7, then after that, I'm going to stop alternating, and instead I'm going to play those same 2 notes together. So I'm going to go back to my 5th fret, and I'm going to play the B and the E string at the same time, like that. The next technique that this song uses that's a little bit advanced is something called a slide. A slide is when you play a note, and then I take my left hand and I just slide down to a different note. And that's what we do next in this song. Now you could use a slide in any different ways. I could slide up. So it's a kind of a fun thing to practice. Again, I want to stay really nice on the tips of my finger and keep pressure down on the guitar as I move to a different fret, like this. So what I'm doing is I'm sliding 5 to 4. In our music, we're going to mark that with a slash. I'm going to write 5/4, and that means to slide. You might see that written a number of ways. You might see 5S4, S for slide. You might see something called a slur. There's a few different ways to write it, but it's good to kind of get familiar with those different ways. And it means slide. Then I'm going to slide 4-2, and then 2-4. Again, all of those slides are on the B string. 5-4, 4-2, 2-4. And that's the end of the riff. So the whole thing from the beginning sounds like this. All right, that's all for today. Great job, everybody. And remember to practice just a little bit every day, and that's the way you'll get better. It's really important to be consistent. So keep picking up those guitars and playing as much as possible for as many days in a row as possible. All right, well, I hope you've been enjoying these videos, and have a great rest of your evening. Goodbye.